guys, welcome to another episode of Fortress Solid Dudes. I'm your host, as always, Fernando Benitez, and with me I have my boys, the dudes. So we're going to introduce ourselves one by one, and go ahead, Gingy, start us off.
My name is Brian Fantana of Channel 4 News.
Turd Ferguson here reporting in.
I don't know any Anchorman names, so I'm Jared.
So that's Ron Burgundy. Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
That was a bad choice.
Baxter!
No, I don't speak Spanish.
So guys, today we are going to do pretty much an impromptu segment. So we're going to kind of talk about if we had unlimited money. So some of our favorite superheroes just have infinite amount of money. We're talking about T'Challa, Tony Stark, your Bruce Wayne. Any other rich guys out there?
Ozymandias.
Ooh, Ted Kord.
That's a good one. Blue Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Moon Knight rich?
I think he was just crazy.
Yeah.
Oliver
I know
Queen?
he's crazy. Oliver Queen, yeah.
Okay.
Danny Rand.
Yeah, but what does he really...
He's not really cool.
Nah, he's not. Little bitch. But anyway.
The Iron Bitch.
the Iron Bitch.
I'm rich, bitch.
So, I think this is just going to be mostly for fun. I mean, there's so much news that came out, like the the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer came out.
Yeah.
John Wick. We got the Ecto 1 teaser for Ghostbusters.
Oh my god, thank you.
So at some point we will talk about those. But for now, we're just gonna kind of talk we're just gonna riff.
Yeah.
Chicken wing it.
Chicken wing, and then we'll do some hard cuts.
Can I just say I feel totally disconnected because I had no idea that any of that stuff came out. And I want to get my man out and watch it all right now. Dude. I had no idea. I did see the John Wick trailer.
Oh, what
because I saw John Wick 3 and I was like, there's no way that they're making another John Wick. And then I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, that's real. That's not like some fan-made junk. Like, they're actually doing a third one. That's
Sorry.
But Noah hates it. But
dude, we're getting John Wick 3 and Ghostbusters 3, a direct sequel to Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, 2020.
Really?
Yeah. Old cast.
Bill Murray, obviously Harold Ramis, the late great Harold Ramis, rest in peace, won't be there, but dude, I'm so high on this right now. I love Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. Love the animated series. You remember that too?
Yeah.
I also was born in the 90s, so...
I have a very, very clear memory of one of my friends having the Ghostbusters toy that you could slide out the trap, and then you'd step on a little rubber thing, and it would open and make, like... It looked like it was going to catch a ghost.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was so jealous that he had that. And he had the plastic backpack, too. I mean, his family was rich, but...
Oh, I see what you mean.
It was so cool. I was wanting to go to his house so I could play with his Ghostbusters
Look,
toys.
I'm not going to lie. My only, real, sense of Ghostbusters has been Stranger Things. Where, season 2, they dressed up as the Ghostbusters. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah. So, that's my only throwback. But I'm pretty excited, I mean, did we get to see the Marshmallow Man again? The Michelin Man, Michelin Ghost?
I think they'll throw in a lot of those Easter eggs. I just hope it's not for that sake, but
yeah,
it's the son of the original director, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
Yes, so there's a lot of continuity going on,
okay.
So hopefully it's a very well done. You know what I mean? I'm excited because once they said Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd were on board, right?
So
is Ernie Hudson? I hope is.
Yeah. They got
sweet.
And Sigourney Weaver, was she in the?
She was.
So
yeah,
because they took the Entertainment Weekly pictures and it was them 4, and she was in the Ghostbuster suit, so she might be the 4th one.
We just need Rick Moranis. If we can get him out of retirement, that would be awesome. But anyway,
honey,
you said the Marshmallow Man, the big thing from the end
Stay Puft.
It was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Stay
It wasn't
Puft.
the Michelin Man, was it?
I think it was. No.
It was Stay Puft.
They're all
It was, but
same.
it wasn't. But yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
but it was. It was.
Do you know
Stay
why
Puft.
the Michelin Man is white like that?
Privilege.
I looked it up one time because tires are black, right?
Yeah.
But so initially, when they first made rubber, you vulcanized. Before rubber got vulcanized, it used to be white, so tires were white. But then I also heard that the Michelin Man is white because it's a stack of tires. But I also heard that he's white because they used to wrap tires in paper to ship them, so they'd come in white stacks and they looked like him.
So they're black
that's
on
what I
the
heard. So
inside.
I don't know which one is true.
Just like me.
Those are the 2 reasons that I heard that the Michelin Man is a big white stack of donuts. It's because he's supposed to be a stack of tires.
Oh, dude, I'd always get them, like him, the Michelin Man, the Stay Puft, and the Pillsbury Doughboy. Always get them confused. All
Same
three
character.
of them. It's just like they all have a slightly tipped hat. And I was like, what's going on here?
It's up to you, the viewer, to tell us, why is the Michelin Man white?
Well, who's your favorite one? Out of the three, I'm legitimately curious. For me, it's the Pillsbury Doughboy because they're delicious. And he laughs whenever you poke him.
I'm a keep it elf kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah,
Michelin Man's my
favorite.
favorite. He always, they got the commercials where he throws the good tires on the vehicle.
On the cars?
Yeah. He's cool. He's cool.
So
He can
Fern
throw
would
some
spend
new
his
tires on
money.
my car.
Yeah.
Tires.
I know we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna riff, and then we just start talking about the trailers and all that stuff.
I'd spend my money on script writers for the podcast.
legitimate, like good.
Christopher Nolan.
That's a beautiful drama. A war period.
What war would we best represent? The Spanish-American War.
Ooh, no.
And I would definitely be Davy Crockett. Is he in that?
Like, are we
The
saying
Alamo.
I was just gonna say the Alamo, and can Michael Pena play me? Like that's
Michael Cera and Michael Pena.
Oh yes, yes. So we were discussing earlier about money. So I thought this was a good. Money had was money not an issue? What would we spend?
Unlimited
on? Unlimited monies. Yeah. Like, what would you guys do? Because I'm curious to hear. Jairus, you like building cool shit.
I do.
What would you build like a giant mech suit like Sigourney Weaver in Alien, or what would you do? Build a Batcave?
First of all, I'm super poor right now, so if I had unlimited money, I would be very stress free compared to currently. But I think I would honestly. I mean, as far as what I would do, I think I would still do the same thing that I do now.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, that's kind of the reason that I do what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people ask me why I picked what I do. And it's like, if you ask people that question, if you had unlimited money, what would you do? And they immediately start talking about all the stuff they would buy. But what would you do if you had all the money?
I sleep so much.
I think I would still. I mean, I don't. If I had unlimited money, I would change things. I'd have somebody film and edit for me.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would still make videos for YouTube. And I would still build stuff because I like doing those things a lot.
But now on a grandiose scale, like now,
right. I mean, it would just open
issue.
up all sorts of opportunities for what I could build. But I mean, that's what I would do. I think I would still do the same thing. I would probably want to learn a lot too. I mean, because if you had that much money, you could go to a college and be like, hey, I want to take this course because I want to learn about that. I don't want to do a degree program. I just want to learn about that. Yeah. Or you could go find an expert and pay them to teach you, I don't know, how to base jump.
Like Skillshare times 1,000. Yeah, like basically.
We were talking about
the
squirrel
experts.
suiting earlier.
Base jumping off the Swiss Alps.
Yeah. So I think I would do a lot of that stuff. As far as what I would buy, I mean, that's difficult because you can just buy everything.
Yeah.
And what would you do, Matt?
What would I do? I know I wouldn't work. in terms of punching in like a 9 to 5.
Say.
You always meet people though. You know what I'm talking about. They're like, if I won the lottery tomorrow,
I'd still work.
No, you wouldn't.
Mom.
You would not wake up at 4:30 in the morning and be like, oh, I got $450 million in my bank account. I'm gonna go to work. Fuck.
I'm gonna go.
That's
put
what I'm
on my
though.
boots and go stomp through the snow and let my car warm up and drive into that place where everybody's gonna be bugging me for money because I've got unlimited amounts. And you wouldn't do that.
I would get up at 4:30 in my private jet and fly to London.
And your G6.
My G6.
Oh,
no,
man.
what I would do, I mean, obviously, I'd be able to do so much with my family now that I can't, free from the restraints of having to work, and I think I would spend a lot, obviously, more time with them traveling. So to get that out of the way, I know I'm not just saying that for the sake of saying it. Actually, that's something I would do. I would travel with my kids, show them the world, show them the experiences that type of money would afford you.
Right.
Things like that. Try to do your best to try to keep them grounded, I guess.
I haven't had vacation for a long time.
Yeah, finally take them to Disney World.
Your life is a vacation.
I know money is endless, but I'm sure I'd spend half of my endless money at Disney World.
No, dude.
That's how it's designed.
So much. I'd spend a month there. Like, it's just so
Maybe
much.
I could sneak my way into episode 9 somehow. As an Ewok? I don't know.
You buy your way into episode 9.
I'll buy my way into being Wicked's son, because that's how grandiose my ambitions are. You know, I wouldn't want to be a Jedi now. Just make me an Ewok. And I would definitely have like complete collections of retro video games. Like that's the one thing I would love to collect. But I settle a lot for ROMs and stuff because obviously it's a lot of money to collect those older video games. I mean,
but they hold their value.
They do. They do. So I always thought it'd be cool to have like a basement with just like gaming shelves and units and displays of just all the systems and just I don't know. I had this idea in my head and just be really cool.
Home theater with every system.
Yeah, and I'd almost want to have something maybe in the neighborhood where you just open up like an old school arcade again, but you have this unlimited number of games you can play for all these systems, and you can have the money to do that. You know, what if it doesn't work? Oh well, I'm just gonna put a lot of cool games out there for kids. I think it might be all right. You know,
that would be cool.
So that's just some of the things I would do.
What about you, Noah?
Unlike you, selfish assholes, I'd probably build a school for kids who can't read good. First thing.
What if they want to learn to do other things?
My mama never taught me to read good.
No, it's a dope Zoolander reference if you guys didn't catch that.
Paper.
Was this a school for ants? So I would probably like build a replica, like an authentic replica, if that makes sense, of the the command center from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I would literally hire like my wife and 3 other friends at this table to become the Power Rangers of St. Thomas with me. Like I would want people like we would have
instead of Angel Grove or St. Thomas.
Yep, so forget Angel Grove. We actually may build a town and call it Angel Grove. I would hire villains. I would literally go out
Putties?
and they could just surprise us and we'd have to learn martial arts. We'd have karate contests.
It'd be
at
really
Ernie's
easy to
Smoothie
beat,
Shack.
though, right?
Like, I would basically want my life to be a Power Rangers.
Wait, can anybody do the noise that Putties made?
I don't.
And then
They would have to do that.
You hit them in the chest and they like fucking float away, disappear.
They glitch out.
They're
hooked up to wires the entire time we're fighting them.
I'm building Westworld for Power Rangers. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Whoa. Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Oh man, I don't know what I would do. Like I'm like selfish in the sense that I'm like I finally did it. Like I'm gonna blow it up on not Coke or anything. So that face I made just seemed like Coke all day. No, but
we don't condone it, children.
I love collecting things. So I love Hot Toys. I love cars. I love Legos. I love everything. So it'd be one of those things where I have endless money to collect everything and endless time to do everything.
So basically what you're saying is you'd have like a 200 by 200 playroom.
Yes.
Full of toys.
Exactly. Legos everywhere. They're like, oh, where's your kid?
Yeah, good luck walking in there, asshole.
Where's your kid? I don't have a kid. It's me. It's my place.
Every year they do a barefoot challenge in the dark. If you can...
I break the record for walking on Legos for the longest amount.
Just bloodied stumps at the end.
I'd build a racetrack.
That would be
that is something I would do. I
4 Power Ranger Zords, right? No?
I would buy the local airport first of all, and then I'd use all the hangars as garages for my cars, and then I would have like planes and stuff too. But I'd build a racetrack. I'd buy that field that's next to the local airport and turn that into a personal racetrack.
That would be cool.
And then
that would be dope.
That would be.
Why would I would just keep the airport as my personal airport / racetrack. So
yeah.
I would travel. I for sure would travel. I think that's one thing that I've always wanted.
Everybody would travel if they had unlimited money. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to go see all that
see
stuff?
other cultures, learn other experiences and all that stuff. Try other food. Like, oh my god, I fucking love food.
Having that much money just unlocks your ability to have like awesome experiences in life. Like you can buy stuff, but I mean, I think all of us have described things that we would buy or like acquire, get, whatever, and have because we like the experience of it. Yeah. So it'd just be, I mean, and travel's really one of those experiences that you just can't get that level of experience from anything that you spend money on.
No matter books you read, no
no
matter what art, I mean, you can know everything about it, but
you could hire somebody to come from France and tell you what France is like, but you're never going to know what it's like.
Experience yourself is something you can never replicate. Yeah, you can never find that genuine.
I think but like money just unlocks so much more. Like you were saying, but like even time with family. Like family that are too far away to see. Yeah. Like you could visit them at any time.
You could build heaven.
Stay aware.
I think the Babylonians tried to reach there once. It didn't work.
They got about halfway.
Yeah,
I was gonna
you
say
could fly
stay
a
away.
personal jet to anywhere.
Pet cemetery.
Any place to visit would be.
Some things.
I mean, even if it's a 7-hour flight flying halfway around the world,
Would be
I mean,
nothing.
that still wouldn't matter because if you're on your own private jet, like you do cool stuff while you're on
can
the
sleep,
jet. You can build
shoot
Legos.
I know.
Yeah.
Build Legos.
In the words of a god that I look up to, 2 Chainz, drunk and high at the same time, drinking champagne on my airplane. I would just like that would be it. Like my
kids would have to be in a separate jet.
Yeah, right behind, right behind. Well, I'm getting high and drunk with 2 Chainz. That'd be great.
No.
Not 2 Chainz.
No. Well, just I wouldn't need to do like all the drugs.
Oh, okay, well, that's fair. I guess. I mean, I probably wouldn't either. Maybe some champagne though.
Some champagne on
Yeah.
ice.
I mean, you could drink whiskey and be a man about it.
Look. Anyways, the point is that
Clear
that
alcohol
verse,
for women on diets.
that verse, would be like
Moonshine.
I like this. This is very...
Okay, so there's this study that this guy did. I think he did it multiple times. He did it with mice and rats.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make a point with this with Bruce Wayne. He basically set up a utopia for mice and rats. So they'd take an original amount of mice and rats and they'd put them in this. It was basically a huge cage with tons and tons of living space.
Chuck E.
So
Cheese.
they set it up so that all the living spaces were like far enough apart they'd all feel comfortable, and it was basically infinite room for these animals to continue to breed, and they just wanted to see what would happen. All the food they wanted, constantly change the food, constantly clean the place, change the bedding in the little homes and everything. And they never reached capacity as far as like the population size. Like it would never reach the capacity of what they expected. They figured it would get full, and once it got full, then there would start to be a breakdown. There'd be fighting or something. They didn't really want it to get to that point, but they found that once they got, I can't remember for certain, but it was somewhere around like half of the capacity of this setup, society would break down, and they would start killing each other, and they had all these problems. They would stop, they'd stop mating, they'd stop reproducing. Weird stuff started to happen, and they had to stop it each time because it was like, they said it almost seemed like it was cruel and unusual punishment, but they were in a utopia. They had the perfect foods, like fresh, multiple times a day, perfectly clean environment, but society just completely broke down. And obviously, humans have a little bit more reasoning ability than like mice and rats. But that for mice and rats is almost like if they had all the money that they could ever want. I mean, it would just be like food and sex and shelter. Like, so that's what they got. So they were almost in that situation. But it was like a lot of them that had it. And they started to show that, maybe you need like difficulties and challenges in your life. I mean, obviously, if you had unlimited money, that would come with challenges because everybody would want it.
Right.
Because if one of the rules with having unlimited was that you couldn't give it away, that would make it really difficult.
That's fair.
I mean, you could build stuff like a school for kids that can't read good, But if I think that's part of the reason. I think they may have done it unintentionally in DC Comics, where Bruce Wayne is, constantly challenging himself and going out of his way to do all this stuff because he has everything. So I think they might have hit on like a psychological principle that nobody knew existed by accident. Because I feel like if you had that, you would almost be like one of these mice in this situation, or a rat.
What do they call it? The Bernie Sanders Project?
I can't remember, but it was interesting. I feel like it was a good lesson that hardship and effort is something that's necessary for you to remain sane, and be able to function. Yeah. I think I don't know how it translates to humans because we have more reasoning ability. Maybe we can think I don't need to kill this guy. I don't have to just go attack everybody.
That's where I'd be the complete opposite. I'm like, oh, infinite money, I could go fight crime. And then that goes terrible, but I'm like, it's okay. I have the money. They could rebuild me, and then I come back as a cyborg, and then slowly, I lose my
$6
humanity.
million man.
So that's funny you say that though, because in Westworld, you might want to cover your ears if you haven't seen season 2.
That's fine. Go ahead, ruin it for me.
So
Spoiler alert.
The question in Westworld season 2 is about immortality.
Yes.
And season 1, it's being sentient. Like these robots or these androids, whatever you want to call them, become, self-aware, and they're awakened at the very end of the season.
Yeah,
Awoken at the very end of the season.
Can an artificial being
Intelligence.
actually gain true sentience?
Sentience. Yeah. So
Sentientities.
So can we finish these sentientities? That's the real question. I think in season 2, the man who ended up buying the company that created Westworld dies in his mid-60s, early 70s, but his consciousness is copied in code based on his interactions in this park. And when at the end of the season 2, they have tried to recreate him and in these interview settings, and they test him, and he says, "What are you testing me for?" Because at that point in the interview, they make him self-aware that he is a clone or his consciousness has been copied. So they say, he says, "What are you testing me for?" Fidelity, the correctness of how your clone acts based on your actual form as a human.
Okay.
And he goes crazy every time because he dwells on the worst moment in his life that's like a crucible that changed his life. And it's his son Odin, and he goes back to that because he told him it wasn't necessarily his son's death, but the moment he goes back to is when he told his son, "You need to clean your act up. I can't love you until you're back to normal." And it was his fatal mistake as a human,
not loving his son before
exactly
he died.
So I think when you have all these things in front of you, because Delos, the guy who did this experiment, is infinitely rich, and all he wants is immortality because he craves power. But when you have this endless amount of money, this endless amount of power and control, and you can even go to the extent of creating immortality for yourself, which they go into in a bunch of different areas in the season, he still goes crazy. It's not that life is to be lived within this finite time frame, that it's not necessarily something that you can carry over and continue on and on and on and on. That it's a circle. It ends and starts over. So when you think about having this endless amount of money, you're always going to have want, even if you have money. It'll create
something that
something else you can't have. So I think you almost have to test yourself, and money's just one way.
It's definitely a dichotomy. Like with whatever you have, there's always something that you don't, that you always want.
There'll always be something else.
The balance of the yin
and the yang. Exactly. Like you could have, for example, I have a car, but they make infinitely faster versions of that car, and I want the infinitely faster version of that car. But whenever I get it, I'll be like, well, I want something faster than that, or something better than that. So it's one of those things where you'll never be happy, I guess. I mean, in a sense, and this is in the sense of
satisfied.
Yeah,
I think is a better word for that. Satisfied.
But it's the human condition.
But I think
humans are naturally never satisfied, though. I mean, that's part of your. I think that's part of the base instinct for you to not be satisfied. Otherwise, we wouldn't strive.
There's no motivation.
Right.
It drives our base instincts.
Yeah, I mean that's how a animal would die out.
We always get hungry. We always get tired. We always get thirsty.
Right.
Why? So we need to eat, sleep, drink. I mean, that's at its base levels. But you're right. There's always something.
It's crazy how philosophical this whole thing was getting.
Well, you know how they always talk about who are the happiest people, and it's people that help other people or whatever. But I don't necessarily think that is what makes you truly happy. I think what really brings happiness to people is, I mean, you obviously have to have some. It's relative. You have to have something to compare it to. So if you have experienced incredible hardships or whatever, I mean, I think that increases your ability to enjoy and experience happiness. I mean, if you lived a given life, where you had everything that you wanted. Maybe you'd feel that you needed to experience hardship in a big way to be able to experience happiness. But I don't. I mean, I haven't been given everything, so I don't know.
Well, that's almost like if they were like, all right, so we give you every single cent in the world, you can have everything, but we take your family away. Would you take it? Absolutely. For me personally, I would say no.
No,
because no money is going to bring my family back. No money is going to make me happy like that.
Right.
So I think it's one of those things where you have to be happy where you're at. Like, if you're happy with yourself currently, then you'll always be happy. Like, your happiness relies on you. Like, as cheesy as that sounds, it's just almost a self-fulfilling thing, if that makes sense.
Your surroundings and your situation shouldn't define who you are. And they do to a point, but you're right. You should be regardless of the situation you're in, some are good, some are bad.
Yeah.
But you should retain the essence of who you are.
I
And if
agree.
you're happy and comfortable with who you are, like you said, then regardless of that situation, you should be
You should
happy.
be happy.
Yeah, you should be happy. Really.
So, I mean, God,
I do know that-
we got
I
so
mean-
philosophical there. It's so deep, so deep.
Well, like when if I work really hard
Yeah.
for a long period of time, if I spend a month where I work like every single day, 14 hours a day, and I'm working a lot, I know that if I do get a chance to take a break and I get a day where I go hang out with my friends, it's like that wouldn't seem special normally, but because I've worked so hard for so long, that day is like way more fun than it normally would.
Like it's your reward.
Yeah, and I feel like that goes with, you need hardship. Not that work is like a hardship for me. I enjoy what I do, but I don't know if it's the separation from having fun or what. But if you have less, it almost makes, it definitely makes what you do get seem like it is more.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a small amount.
But it's almost
and I
like...
know that that's like a driving force for me. I know that even though I don't like to be isolated and work like tons of hours, I know that whenever I do take a break, it's like...
It's cool.
It's way better.
You enjoy it so much more.
Yeah, and if I take breaks all the time and I like try to hang out with friends all the time, I just start to feel like I'm not being productive, and I don't enjoy the time that I spend with my friends very much. I mean, I still do, obviously.
I see what you're saying. It's just over.
But
Right.
it's that's with everything though, because like if you could work out all the time and eat healthy, and then your cheat meal tastes so much better. You could have a super like legit sports car in your garage, but like you drive the Prius 6 days a week, and then that Saturday or Sunday you whip it out. You're like, fuck yeah, like now, like it's one of those things that
I kind of have that. I've got that old truck that I drive all the time, and I rarely take my Viper out. It just sits in the yard. First of all, because I need new tires soon. Second of all, it's bad on gas, so it doesn't get driven very much. But when I do drive it,
you're like,
this is amazing.
The weather sucks right now.
Yeah.
So, but none of you guys would try to be a superhero, Power Ranger?
I literally said I would want to be a Power Ranger.
Now, if all four of us had unlimited money in our own right,
I
think we would have to
guess we
form
would.
some kind of like
League?
squadron or league.
We would definitely build like some kind of skull-based like center that would come out of a swamp.
But do we hire our own villains?
Dr. Voodoo.
That's a
Do we
thing.
hire our
Why don't we
That's-
just, why don't we just become
There's
villains?
plenty of villains out there.
No, because
We could become villains that don't really like.
Well,
the
you
good guy
either
win at the
live
end.
long enough
Like-
for you die a hero, or you live long enough to
see yourself become the villain. There was a time at work where like I literally Josh, I gave him like so many quotes from like movies. And that was one of them, and I was like, well, it's always darkest before the dawn, or some shit like that. And then I just started running out of quotes, and I was like,
Why are we chasing him, Dad?
yeah, I can
have to.
fly. And he's like, is that Iron Man? I was like, yeah, man. Like I ran out of quotes. I don't know. Like Christopher Nolan had the best quotes of that movie, but I don't know. But it was
With great power
comes great responsibility. I gave him that one too.
If you don't get that one, you're lost.
I think so. Like we talk about like having to want for things in
Yeah.
life, and Fern, you mentioned family. Now, the one area where people seem to be satisfied for 50 to 60 to 70 years in their lives, love and being married, and you can see that sustained for a long period of your life. And there's a book. It's not a book. It's a short story. It's about 20 pages that Hemingway wrote. It's called The Snows of Kilimanjaro, and in that story,
What's a book?
Well.
I have it on Kindle.
There are no pictures in this book, Fern, but it's
No pop-up sections.
It's basically this guy's dying, and he's with his third or fourth wife.
Okay.
And he is wealthy and successful in his career, and the marriage thing for him was always selfishness. Like, that trend fit. It was great, but that relationship ended, and it's really the story of love itself for a man's perspective, because a man, in my opinion, and I love my wife, and I will my whole life, hopefully. I don't think that that's going to change, but you get to a point as a man where you feel like you've conquered something, and then once you've conquered it, then what? It's like you're not on to the next, but you get complacent almost. And with love, and that's with anything in your life, not just love.
Yeah.
So what makes love or your relationship like that any different from anything in your life? You're always going to have want and temptation and things like that. And then the short story that Hemingway writes, It's basically this man's on his deathbed and he's dying, and this woman has given him everything. She's given him her time, which is the most valuable asset you can share with somebody, and he still thinks, as much as you've given me and as much as you deserve to be loved by me, I don't love you because I don't love anybody but myself. And that's kind of the selfishness of love. And it's crazy to me to think that one area of our lives goes overlooked when it comes to money or anything else, because we can be content for 75 years. Now, not everybody's the same, but in my opinion, that's kind of the one outlier in all of this. If I had $1 billion or 10, I'd still wouldn't be married to the same woman. I'd still love her the same. I wouldn't change because of the income, and everything else in my life would change. Every aspect.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me to think that, that perspective is so overlooked when it comes to these kinds of conversations.
But I think we have these conversations so for me, my fiance is a part of me, so I wouldn't change me, so why would I change her?
You would change you. You said cyborg.
Oh yeah, I mean but that's after I go fight crime and then get decimated and then come back and somebody Jairus is there wrenching away on me. We can build him, but I think it's one of those things where I love my fiance. I would never trade her for anything. She's smart. She's beautiful. She's great. She makes me laugh. So I love you, babe. So it's one of those things that if I had absolutely money and you could have literally any woman in the world, or I wouldn't. This is a woman I love. So I think once, I don't know. Again, we're getting so sappy, but whenever you find the person that you once you find your Pink Ranger.
Mine's yellow.
I couldn't stand it.
Oh, come on. Listen, everybody loved Kimberly. Once you find your Pink Ranger, that's it.
I'm all about the diversity, and Trini and Aisha were my girls.
Trini
I found my Pam Beasley.
Because I was going to be a Batman reference, but I was well, Batman has Catwoman, and he's got...
That's my point. I think, though, Batman, they never gave him a solid love interest because it would ground him.
That's fair.
And I think that's the one thing that a man who's not married and
he can't be grounded because he's just insane.
Yeah, that's fair.
He really is. You really want to be him, and you start seeing some of these.
They say that Moon Knight's the crazy one. Bruce Wayne's just as crazy, just in a little bit more socially acceptable way.
He's definitely sociopathic. There's no doubt about
fair.
it.
Death of the Family. I'm reading the one that you got me for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic, dude. Oh my god. But you even get to see in there some of his Damian is out there, but just even that detachment, it's Batman is Batman for a reason. He's solo. He's very lonely. We all man, that'd be so great to be Batman.
It's not.
On one end, he's fantastic, but he's the only one who can be Batman because he sacrificed basically his humanity to a point.
Oh yeah.
Would you
to save humanity? As weird as that sounds, but
that's fair. And I'll let you get back, but before they're so in the comics, I'm trying to think what. I'm pretty sure it's this new run. Batman's tired of being Batman for a little while there, and I think his name is Gotham Man or Gotham Girl. It was a duo named Gotham, and Batman really cares about these guys because he's priming them for the time that he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. He could be leave the Gotham to the Gotham people, and I think that was a cool little thing. I mean, she goes crazy, and there's a whole shit. I don't know if it was Batman metal, it happened in the metal. But again, it was just one of those.
So because it's kind of in Frank Miller, The Dark Knight Returns. You remember he tried quitting, and as soon as he quit, Gotham went right back to the shithole that it was. So it was it's only good as long as I'm doing something about it.
Exactly, I'm the only one who
can't do it forever.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Noah.
Well, no, I think I forget what I was going to say now, so it's not as nearly as irrelevant.
I'm sorry.
But about...
well, Matt's fuck you, no.
No, I remember.
He's back. He's back.
So, sorry, Matt.
You're good, man.
Do you think the people in your life that have been organically attached to you, not your parents, not the people who were there from this jump, but people you've gone out and made friends with?
Yes.
So, and you're the love of your life, stuff like that. So, being the person that you are with the money you have is a certain person. If you have an unlimited amount of money, you will inevitably change in some ways. You won't have the same drives, I can't imagine, if you have this given to you for no specific reason. So I think it changes you as a person, and that's when people around you start to leave or want you for something else or become less real, I guess. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. I think with money, does it change the relationships in your life at all? Does it change you at all?
I mean, I think it would, because it would make. I've always said this, but again, I'm just saying this because it hasn't happened. But like with money, I feel like I'd be infinitely more fun. So like me and my crew, like
I hope so, because you're not fun. You're not fun at all.
That's it's okay, man. It's all right. Let that one slide. Hit the ego a little bit, but it's okay. But I think it's one of those things where you need, just like George Lucas didn't have anybody that said no in episode 1 through 3. I need my no people. I need that man to be like, hey man, I don't think this is right, and I need that no to be like, dude, you're being a dick. Like, chill out. I need that Jairus to be like, I can rebuild you. Dude, fight crime. I can rebuild you. Or be like, you know what? I can't fix you if you die, so don't be a crime fighter. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That's a good. But I think you need those people that bring you back down. You need that Alfred to be like, Mr. Wayne, I think you're taking this too far.
Alfred also bounced in Dark Knight Rises and says, "You're on your own, Christian Bale."
Yeah, but that's because he couldn't do it. Like, you're just out of control. Like,
Michael Caine had to go back to playing Alfie.
Yeah.
So what happens with people, like, think about people that have this situation. So you're talking about the people that you've met organically that come to you. And then you have unlimited money. Mm-hmm. Like, you know who those people are. They liked you before you had unlimited money. Think about situations where people end up having that, like, the money, and they don't have the opportunity to meet people organically without them knowing them.
Yeah.
I've always wondered what that would be like.
I think,
because I was trying to think if I know anybody that's like that. Well, I mean, think about it this way. Elon Musk was rich before, I'm trying to think when he sold PayPal. He was young. I think it was before most people are even out of high school when he sold PayPal. Or it was just after, maybe. But he was very young. I don't know if he had his wife at that point. Is he married?
I don't know. He dated Amber Heard there before Johnny Depp, or after Johnny Depp divorced her.
But that would be really difficult. Like, he would have his parents, and his mom is still alive, because I just recently found out that his mom is like a model. Like, I didn't know that. She's like an elderly model now or something.
Elderly model.
Could you imagine how difficult that would be if you had that? I mean, because he has a nearly unlimited amount of money, or he did at one point. I mean, I guess it wasn't that much.
It's not an issue for him, though.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, he's more about his pursuits than how much money he has. But could you imagine how many people probably, like, every time he would meet someone, he would never have any idea if that person cared about him as a person, like, actually about him and his personality. He would constantly have to, try to vet people to see if they were just after him for money. And I've heard people that are wealthy, like, I've had people tell me that are wealthy, that you can tell when people are after your money. Like, it's usually pretty obvious. But I feel like there's probably people out there that could hide it. I feel it would end up being a really lonely life.
Yeah.
If you were in that situation, because it would be so difficult to find people. You would be in a constant search for people that are not out for something from you. I mean, I experienced it a little bit. I got a touch of it. When my channel first started to explode, I had people I hadn't talked to in years, ask me for a job, or, start talking to me about how it's going, or, hey, can you, like, help me out with my stuff? And, when it was really going off, I felt like I was getting pulled in a lot of directions, and people were trying to,
overwhelming.
Take some of me. It was real strange. I mean, to actually, you can talk about it, but to actually experience it is really weird.
Yeah.
And that was just, that's just the tip of the iceberg compared to what these other people are experiencing from having, basically unlimited money or resources or fame. A lot of those things have that effect on your life. I feel like it would be super difficult. No, I don't know if I want to get to that.
I think it would take a drain on your mental health for sure, because there's always that paranoia. Like, overthinking this, maybe I should just take him at face value. Well, I've done that before. I've never, it's
and then back
constantly wondering. Yeah.
Back to what Jared said, I think I had a touch of that at some point where they keep messaging me. Well, it turns out it was one of those pyramid schemes. But it's always those people like, hey man, where are you going? What are you doing?
Well, you haven't talked to somebody in like 10 years from high school.
Hey, how you doing?
Chances are it's either like essential oils, unique
candles,
or
candles, Look, I got a great pyramid scheme for you. I just want to see if you want to join.
It works.
It works. I know a guy that knows a guy that like got uber rich out of it.
And when they use like 7 to 10 emojis in their little display things, and it's clearly stock photos.
Oh God, I got into one
anti-MLM all the way.
Right.
Don't do it. Just go work at Sheets if you have to. It's better.
Do
Pay
it.
for your college.
Yeah, it's something.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, like living in that paranoia where like
I'm sure there's knowledge that goes along with that, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like it's not readily available to most people because most people don't ever get in the situation where they're super famous or super rich. But I'm sure those people have like a common knowledge that they share between them about how to deal with, that type of lifestyle. I'm sure there's ways to make your life not suck.
Yeah,
when you're that rich.
You can find
like a very nice close group of friends and stick with them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a whole lot different than most people do anyway, but
just find the dudes.
it would just be more difficult to find that. I mean, that's probably why rich people only hang out with rich people because then they don't have to worry about it.
Well,
go ahead.
You talk about like the wealthiest man in the world right now is Jeff Bezos.
Yep.
He owns Amazon, and he's going through a divorce.
Oh, he's
With
no longer
some-
the richest person.
She just wanted to wait till he was the richest.
But you got to wonder, she was there from the beginning, right? So this
Yeah.
is somebody who
Yeah.
was an organic person in his life. They came in and loved him for who he was before he had, baldness and like money. So there's this guy
The rich.
who really was. My first impression of Amazon was you could buy your textbooks there. Like that was.
No, those are books.
It's book sales.
I
yeah.
thought it was just book sales up until maybe 2.5 years ago before I
Yeah.
started actually
Now
shopping
they
on
have
Amazon for my
Whole
YouTube
Foods.
When
stuff.
they start changing,
I had
like,
no idea.
4 or 5?
I mean, it
Maybe
blew up.
I can't remember. I was always buying stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
Because I was always
Yeah.
looking for weird things for projects. So I automatically always just went to eBay.
That
to
was
buy
the king of
everything.
e-commerce for a long time. Yeah.
And then people started saying, why don't you buy it on Amazon? You'll get it so much faster.
I don't need
And I was like,
books for
Amazon
this.
doesn't have the things that I need. Like, I need, this dimension of conical roller bearing. Like, that's not going to be on Amazon. I just bought some of those on Amazon. Why do they carry that stuff? I mean, I know why, because they're the biggest e-commerce business in the world. But I had no idea that Amazon was doing all that.
Yeah.
And does he have a prenup?
No.
No,
I heard that he
she
was getting
takes
divorced
she
by-
takes half of what he made.
There's no prenup.
No.
Well, because she was there when he was in the garage selling
Yeah.
books, Oh my
wants
gosh,
a
get this
textbook?
book out. And she's
But
like,
back-
change the baby's diaper. He's like, no, I got a male book. Like, she put up with all that. So.
Yeah, you never know what the personal struggle was.
Right.
But I think back to what Noah says, that she was there from the beginning. I think what happened was the success of him got to her, and then she was the one that changed.
He cheated.
Okay, then never mind. What's
Out the window.
But that's what I'm
you
saying.
should have said that from the beginning, though.
But you always want, and no matter what you have, somebody. If you tell us now, like you just said,
Man, I just
Well,
feel
there,
like a
there
jackass now.
obviously aren't memory erasing devices because if there were, he's the person that's rich enough to buy one. And he'd just been like,
Eternal
"See
sunshine
that?
of the spotless mind. There you go.
I'm a little
You
salty.
forgot that I
I'm,
cheated."
I'm salty. You should have started off with that one.
But no, that's my point. Like, if you have this endless amount of money, he's the richest man in the world, and I know I'm not, and I live comfortably. Like, so I can only imagine how comfortable his life is.
You know what? Then he deserves it. I 100% back her up. Take half of everything he did.
Yeah.
But
Take half his legs.
Yeah.
Jairus could
One leg,
rebuild
one
it.
arm.
Jairus could rebuild it.
One leg, one arm, one eye.
He's like, hey, maybe I gotta get him more.
That is something that I would do. If I had unlimited money, I would start building prosthetics. But
Prosthetics, yeah.
really cool prosthetics. There's actually
nanotech.
a friend of mine's girlfriend is a prosthetics model.
Okay.
She was born without the lower. It's basically just after her elbow down.
Yeah.
And she does modeling for prosthetics companies. And I talked to her, and she was like, "If you want to build like weapons for my arm,
That'd
like,
be sick."
We haven't worked out like when or how I'm gonna do it yet, but man,
She'd be like a leader.
Maybe without
Captain
the eyes.
Hook.
But this leads to something that I was thinking about. A lot of us work hard, and the money we have, we value because it's for our survival. Survival is on
The drive.
towards the top is our drive. We need to work so we can pay bills for our shelter, for our clothing, for our food, and yes, for the luxuries. But strict survivability. If we don't work, we're going to be on the streets. You know what I mean? So, what do you think humanity as a whole? Just put this out there. Let's say that there was some kind of initiative or something where you didn't necessarily have endless money, but let's say the government's like, all right, we're going to give you a roof over your head. we're going to feed you and we'll clothe you. It might not be, your choice. And let's say you had the freedom to not have to worry about strictly surviving.
Okay.
Would that free humans up more to evolve, to push themselves? Because like he said, if he didn't have to work stuff, he would be building these advancements. Because he could strictly focus on that. He's not worried about how am I going to eat. All that stuff is taken care of. So you can literally, all the distractions aside from intrapersonal relationships, those will always be there. But you take that away, that stress of saying, all right, I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. I don't know how I'm going to keep a roof over my head, utilities, yada, yada, yada. That's taken care of.
I would probably sit and drink beer for a while.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's
just chill out and just
it's an interesting idea because for the rich, that's why some of these people have the time to innovate and do these things because they're free from
that's fair.
It's just an interesting thought. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. It just kind of popped in.
I don't know, because
take away that need for surviving and just strictly for enjoyment or for your own. You know what I mean?
Because
I don't have to do anything, and I'm going to live until whatever.
Right. You'd have because of the money, you would have no contract on your time.
Yeah. So would you then be able to use that time and to progress the advancement of human civilization?
Well, I mean, like time that your mind is so preoccupied all throughout your entire day. Your mind is so preoccupied with all the things that you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, not like they don't use a huge amount of like processing power to drive to work, but it's still a task that you have to do. It's like
to accomplish.
You can't sit and do math and figure something out or whatever.
I can't do math in general.
While you're driving to work, but you always have little things going on throughout your day. If you had unlimited money, especially if you didn't have family, you'd be open to pursue
everything.
Great things. Yeah. I mean, we can't have society to the point where people can just pursue advancement.
Yeah,
but
I agree. It's a utopia set up for failure. It become a dystopia.
Here's my argument to that, because the way I'm imagining, like maybe because again I'm a cynic, but this is North Korea. Like you just described to me North Korea, so therefore like I have no sense of creativity because with challenge. With hardship comes creativity. Like, damn, my fucking shoes need clean, or my feet hurt. You know what? I should make this thing that goes on, and it's a shoe. And
or the wheel came about. It got too heavy to just
like track. A square. It just does not roll. Let me sand down these corners, and then boom, like we got the wheel.
Yeah.
Well, does that come down to so if you had the utopian society, there wouldn't be anything to fix.
Correct.
Right, so there's no reason for advancement because most of our advancements are to increase quality of life.
Mm-hmm. Right? I guess it wouldn't be completely utopian because it wouldn't be free of crime and stuff.
Right.
But
that being said, you would always have. I mean, the point of my Aquaman project is not to fix a problem where humans need to be able to swim faster because we're constantly getting eaten by sharks or something. Like that's not happening.
It does
not yet.
It's like I do that because I mean, first of all, I think the engineering behind it's interesting, but another thing is just I want to be able to do things that are above and beyond. So how many people how much does that? How do I put this? What percentage of society has that mindset where they want to do cool stuff for the sake of doing cool stuff? Like Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. Absolutely no reason to do it, but he wants to go to Mars.
He just wants to go to Mars.
So that's like his ambition, and I have this ambition. Obviously, it's a little bit smaller than trying to go to Mars, but
nonetheless,
it's like that's an ambition that's completely unnecessary. What percentage of society has that, and what percentage of society would just go, as long as you bring me some food and let me sit here and watch TV, like I'll be fine.
It turns
and
into Wall-E,
they have no desire to pursue that.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Like, is it a genetic difference? Like, is society split 50-50? You know, like if you have an ambitious person and non-ambitious person have a kid, would their kids be ambitious or split between the two? Like, is this something that's genetic? Like, what if you could wipe that out of society? Now, I don't want to sound like Hitler or anything right now.
Like a behavior modification.
What do they call that? Genocide.
Yeah.
Genocide. So if you did genocide and like all the people that are lazy, for lack of a better term, right now, you just wipe them out like Thanos. Just bam, they're gone. Yeah. And then all you had were ambitious people. Like, would you end up having people that just went crazy because like you need that other chaos part of it?
I think so.
Because like you start breeding all these ambitious people all the time, and they would just be like, "Why I have to do everything all the time?" You know, would that be a problem, or would it make society better? Because everyone would want to work for their place in society and pursue something greater than themselves.
I guess, but you also have to bank on lazy people. Like
there has to be that
you have to be. You need that lazy person to be like, oh man, I would really hate to go grab that mop, but wait, there's mop shoes. And then you just, right? So you clean the mess with the mop on your shoes. It exists already. I looked it up.
Like, you can even look at the first story in the Bible, whether true or not. It's a story, and it tells you right there that we're not set up for a utopia, because we right there, we could not handle. We loved apples too much. Red and delicious. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was
a honey
apple
crisp.
bottom.
It was a honey crisp. I would have bitten that thing. First.
The apple
Women would have had
bottom.
to wait.
It wasn't a Granny Smith.
But that's almost like.
We're no grannies yet.
But it's
Yeah,
almost
you're
like
right.
a fable for saying that we
True,
were never
true.
meant to. We would never be able to exist in a utopia. We just can't do it. It's just the human condition. We're not meant for it. Like, and there's one little line in the Matrix where it's like, at first in the Matrix we did create a perfect. We created a perfect Matrix, and it crashed because we couldn't handle it. And so they lost hosts and hosts of bodies because the human mind was not equipped to handle a perfect society where nothing went wrong. Yeah. I mean, it's just small little things like that you pull, and I'm like, I don't think that utopia exists for a reason. It can't. It's impossible.
So
I think because of the human condition, and I think it's better that way. Because, in order to have a utopia, you would have to circumvent, individual rights, everything. It would sacrifice so much, and in the end, I just don't see it as a sustainable way of life. I don't think it can happen ever.
That's fair.
Is it genetic though for you to be? Because what if you had people that were constant? Even if you had a society that was set up to be a utopia, some people still wouldn't be happy with it, and they would always pursue something. For them, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So, is it genetic, or are those people just that way because that's their life experience led them to have that outlook?
Yeah,
on
that's
life?
a good question. Is it nature, nurture, both?
Because if you did do the genocide and wiped out all the people that were lazy currently, and then you had just super ambitious people left over, society would become a utopia very quickly. Probably.
Yeah.
It probably would. But would some of those people end up becoming lazy? Or would their
damn
kids
right.
end up all being lazy because they're like, well, we don't
Because they're all human.
But-
and
but
we're all
here-
susceptible to the same
Millennials.
temptation.
Or
Here's-
would it just purely be genetic and everybody would just be ambitious for
What you're saying is like
are we
almost
predisposed?
almost like a theory where like at what point does a grain of sand become a pile? Like one of those, because you would have so many people that are super ambitious, super smart. At what moment do those 2 or 3 people that are less ambitious become the lazy ones? Right. Or is it instantly?
Well, and that's like if people play in the lottery, so that's like a wonderful thing to look at. If you did a study of everyone that's won the lottery, what happened to their life? Because all of a sudden they have, as near as most people would ever get to unlimited funds to be able to do whatever they want. But the problem with that sample group is it's only of people that play the lottery. I don't play the lottery.
But the gamble. No. So if
right,
you have,
and I hate gambling. So does that go along with they say a lot of people end up broke shortly after they win,
2 years.
even if they win hundreds of millions of dollars.
You've seen
they
those
usually end
shows
up
on
broke.
E! Where it's like the curse
It's
of
like,
the lottery.
Is that the vast majority? Why does that end up happening? And is it just because these are people that like to gamble? Does it go along with that mindset? Okay. It's impossible to know, because if the lottery was just for everyone all the time, and you just would randomly win because they took it out of your paycheck as a tax.
oh my god, that'd be fantastic.
Shirley
and then
Jackson's lottery.
Every week somebody
Can we
win the lottery.
push for this? That's a law.
If that would happen, then we would have an actual good cross section of society where we could say this percentage of people are ambitious and will do whatever, no matter what their circumstances are in life, and then we'd actually be able to see that separation to a certain extent. But it would be, that's never going to happen. You can't wipe out all the lazy people anyway.
No.
Not that I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to. I'm not
Listen, man.
I need to clarify that.
Yeah.
Where people start
We understand the way some of these sound bites could come out, but
Look,
really
the fact that Jairus is blonde hair, fair skin, blue eyes, has nothing to do
I'm
with
not German. Actually, we thought
I am Aryan.
I had that genetic. My dad had that genetic test done, and my family. We thought that his family was from Germany, but if you test the male genes, they stay more true to the roots. I can't remember how it works. Point is, I'm Viking. I'm Viking. It's Norse, British Isles.
Yeah, I think you said
kind of
that
stuff.
when we first met.
And I was that's weird. And Scottish. I think there's a troop clan in Scotland. There's actually a troop area. They have a coat of arms and all this stuff.
You guys said a clan. You said a clan.
Dude,
you said a clan.
You should make
Clan
a
with a C.
yeah.
Clan with a C.
Guys, I mean, I think we could go for it. Like, go ahead. No, if you have something else, go ahead.
So just to end this, when we were in high school, we had this project of creating a utopia. And, Jay's not here, but he was in on this project.
Oh, nice.
And it was great. So our concept was called A New American Land, and it was this donut-shaped island. And, if you think about the acronym of A New American Land, what do the letters spell?
A. And
What would you say?
The
New
acronym,
American Land?
A New American Land.
Oh, a new. Okay, now I get it. I was like NAL.
The
was
O-ring.
nothing.
Look, and you left Matt hanging.
On tape.
Sorry, Matt.
This is great. This is great because I can't spell it. I was like A.
No, I didn't.
And I was like,
I just forgot.
I was like, why is he saying A? I was like, now doesn't mean anything. I was like, I have no idea what.
I know he said a new American.
That's
well,
yeah,
we
totally
learn a
missed
lot
that.
of new things here. You
How to
guys,
spell?
Yeah, I can't spell and can't do math. I'm more of
Probably
a
won't get that billion.
No, I'm more of a philosophical person.
This was a pretty good episode.
It was a good
We don't do
episode.
them too often, but every once in a while, maybe we
It's
should throw
something
one
different. Something to
was fun.
open up your third eye if you have one. Don't say anything.
Not the
No
brown
one.
eye.
I knew it.
I don't know if we're interesting or if
Cheerio.
this ended up being something that's interesting to you, but it was
middle
interesting to
circle
us.
was called
I hope
Butt Crack
you
Man.
enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah, we really did enjoy Jared's right. Yeah, pardon these two goons in the middle, but I 100% agree with Jared. Like, I don't know if you guys liked it, let us know. Hit the like, hit the dislike. That way we know.
Share some of your thoughts on this one, because this is more than any other one. Well, not more than, but
There's no definitive way, and I feel like every episode we do, like, there's no definitive way whether, like, you could do this or not.
which is cool, man. Which is why we debate it.
We leave it open. We leave it open because we're not the perfect.
You too. I'm done. Stop saying stuff, Fern.
We save the donut for the end.
The
throwing it out
donut.
there.
But
It's not
I honestly, at the end, like, we all have our own opinions, and they all matter, and your opinions matter, and our opinions matter to each other, or to you guys if you're listening and actually, watch. So
Thanks,
I think,
Kirk.
Hey, Kirk, shout out to Kirk. He's always,
man.
yeah. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. I'm Fernando Benitez. You guys can follow me at Fernie_Sanders on Twitter and Instagram, even though I hit him with that Bernie Sanders burn. He's still my dog, though. You can find the show you can email us at fortresssoliddudes17@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Fortress Solid Dudes Podcast. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter on Fort_Solid Dudes. And
I think you got them all, man.
I think I did get them all.
Impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you.
you
I was
pulled that off.
on that. I was on a
Yeah,
high.
man,
I was on a high.
just
Didn't
rolled that
stutter, didn't leave that F lingering too long like last episode. But anyways, with that, I'm going to kick it off to the boys. Sign us off.
You guys can find me on the Channel 4 News Team weeknights at 4 on Channel 4.
That was splendid.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
This cologne is quite pungent. No, you can find me at MatticusFinch83 on Twitter and Instagram. That's about it for me, man. Jairus.
Jairus of all social media, mostly YouTube.
Yeah.
Master of none.
Same as always. Yeah, Jairus of all, master of none, often better than a master of one.
Hey,
It's like bastard.
And we're going to try his hot sauce. Yeah. You got the hot sauce,
We
Jairus?
do
Man.
have some hot sauce. Jairus, our boy here, distilled and made.
And distill. It's
Not for purchase, but I've been telling him that back in my country we don't really use the FDA, and that's no issue.
government shutdown.
But with that, we can sneak it by. With that, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next episode. See you guys.
Bye.